At a recent concert, Sabrina Carpenter tore a page straight out of the Kama Sutra and gave her child fans a lesson. She is known for doing provocative stunts on stage at her concerts, and specifically during her performance of this song called Juno, she is known for striking a pose. It is always a sexual pose. She is overtly sexual in her costuming, her poses, her song lyrics. Everything about her brand image is overtly sexualized. I just think that in this most recent example, it's a sign that we've jumped the shark. Like, you're trying way too hard to be edgy and subversive, and it's just coming off at this point as quite embarrassing, and you're also doing this knowingly for an audience of mainly children. Yeah. And mainly young girls. I know there are plenty of adult women who go to Sabrina Carpenter shows. I'm not saying it's exclusively children in the audience, but most of her fans are, I would say, teenage girls, like underage teenage girls.
Listen to the decibels of the screams when she makes her moves.
That will tell you a lot. And they're usually girls who grew up watching her on the Disney Channel when she was starring in Girl Meets World, the Boy Meets World spinoff.
How old would those kids be now? They was going to be 14 now, would they?
If they were children, when they were watching her show.
When did that go off the air?
Mid 2010s. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they would be teenagers now, is my point. Okay. I was actually older than the audience. I am older than the audience that watched her show on Disney. So it's safe to assume they are teenagers right now. And I think it's creepy that she insists on doing this. But I think it's really a symptom of coming off of the Disney factory line that she is obsessed with sexualizing herself and objectifying herself.
I mean, it would have gone well into our previous topic.
Yes, exactly. Well, the pose that she struck at her recent show in Paris was an ode, of course, to the Eiffel Tower.
Here.
As you can see in this video. With her backup dancers, they recreate the Eiffel Tower. There's a very obvious reference that she is trying to make to whoever in the audience will understand it.
Here's the poster. It says, "What was the lyric that required this move?" It's literally the meme. It says like, "There's not there." Dave Matthews doesn't sing any song that makes this necessary, but she does.
Sabrina Carpenter does in fact have incredibly sexually explicit lyrics. Not that they're all as graphic as like WAP, but most of her songs have some kind of sexual connotation or implication at the very least. And if they don't, the way that she performs them on stage is very sexualized. She wears lingerie and they have this bedroom set and they do, set like sexual innuendos through the shadows that are cast on the stage.
When did TMZ include comments?
What do you mean?
I've never seen comments on TMZ's page before. Am I just losing my mind?
I don't know. One said, "What you do when you have no actual talent." Another one said, "She's pretty disgusting. I don't understand why anyone would be impressed by this. It's not like it takes any kind of talent." So they're basically saying she's not relying on her voice and her songwriting content to bring in an audience. She's relying on sex appeal. The strange thing about it, though, is that her audience is not predominantly male, not even close. It is mostly female, and they are the ones who are screaming and losing their minds for this, because I think they're almost living vicariously through her, which is even more embarrassing. And it's just coming off as, it's one note. Like, other people have done this already. You can do something original, but we've seen Madonna do the same thing, and we've seen Cher do the same thing, and it's been so many decades at this point that this has been played out. You could try something different.
The counter argument would be, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And these studio or these businesses, these record labels don't invest money to try stuff. They invest money to make money back. So unfortunately, what we're talking about here is investing money in what is basically degeneracy to make money.
Well, I think what I'm sick of really is that it's these same women who hammer home all of these points about choice feminism, and if a woman chooses to do something, that's what makes it empowering.
Yeah.
When that sentiment has already fallen out of fashion, and if you criticize Sabrina Carpenter or any other woman in the public eye for doing something similar, you're seen as the villain. You're seen as the one who's dragging other women down.
That argument
when in reality it is her.
That argument doesn't even hold up to scrutiny, because when they use that argument when it comes to porn, they're talking about OnlyFans being empowering somehow because they don't have a male boss that's telling them what to do, when anybody who's has half a brain cell understands that you're still paying the company, OnlyFans, 30% or whatever the percentage they take of everything you make.
If something is free, you're the product.
You're the product. So at every corner, there's somebody who's exploiting you in some way, shape, or form. I guess it's just a difference of they can't be physically exploited by them if it's through OnlyFans, theoretically, because it's a third-party app and it's not somebody in person making you do something. Mm-hmm. But that's doing a whole bunch of mental gymnastics to justify it. I would have more respect for just having a blanket understanding and no problem with them doing it than saying it's okay, but only under these circumstances. Like, to me, that's even worse.
But people just cast this in such a fake, deep light where they're like, actually, this is Sabrina Carpenter's like self-expression and like art, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing artistic about what we're seeing here. It is a woman simulating sex acts on stage. It is a glorified stripper. She's also a product herself, owned by a record label. She didn't come up with all of this herself. She had a failing music career for many years prior to the Short and Sweet tour, which is what launched her, basically. Mm-hmm. She was a complete nobody, really, compared to what she is now, for most of her music career up until very recently. And then when she rebranded, here's all you need to know. When she rebranded herself as this little, like, Polly Pocket blow-up doll, Dolly Parton, whatever, like, when she came up with this new personality, that's when her career finally took off. Mm-hmm. Before that, she was a total flop. That is all you need to know.
I mean, I figured it would be.
She couldn't have relied on her music alone.
I thought it was when she went on tour with Taylor Swift that
was already after she rebranded herself, though. So, like, she needed to rebrand into this little, like, pin-up, Polly Pocket, blow-up doll, like, sexualized persona in order to launch her career for real, because prior to that, no one cared about her at all. It was not working for her post-Disney. She left the Disney pipeline, wasn't able to make it work on her own personality and her own talent, and so she had to curate a new look and a new brand, and this is the one that finally caught. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to point out. It wasn't on her own merit that this happened for her.
Well, the other road is a lot harder work. Mm-hmm. Like, there's only one Lana Del Rey, and there's only one Taylor Swift. And in the realm of pop music, the one who sexualizes themselves less has a harder road to go down.
It's funny. The least you can say about Chappell Roan, even though, you know, she is vocally talented, she leaned into this look that she has, this like weird drag inspired Lady Gaga for Gen Z type of
that's her
look.
She has the face for it, though. If Sabrina Carpenter tried to do that, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly. She's like leaning into that, and it resonates with her audience, which admittedly is a smaller audience than the one Sabrina has
and vastly different.
But the people will still be dedicated to that. Mm-hmm. Like, you can find a more niche audience for that. And I respect that she stuck to her guns. And she waited just as long, if not longer, than Sabrina did for her big break moment, which happened at about the same time.
I think they're both cringy.
Well, this reminds me of a clip from one of my favorite shows, 30 Rock. And this is how it feels every time that I call out this behavior in women.
30 Rock is an underrated masterpiece.
It really is.
Everybody should go back and watch. Here we go.
It really is.
So you can drop the sexy baby act and lose the pigtails.
But I like my pigtails. My uncle says they're sexy.
Enough with the gross jokes and that voice.
I like Tina Fey really did do incredible work.
Oh yeah,
on this show.
I love her.
It's not to be understated.
I hope she takes over SNL.
Yeah.
I want you to talk in your real voice.
This is my real voice. And the whole sexy baby thing isn't an act. I'm a very sexy baby.
So you,
Like, just for Sabrina Carpenter or like any of these people, just admit that that's an act, though. Like, you don't need to make everyone think that that's who you are.
Unfortunately, that is a form of logic that's antithetical to the business.
I guess so.
Like, Taylor Swift can't be like, I'm actually a ruthless businesswoman that loves to take advantage of the competition, box everyone out, hold the records or hold the top 10 hostage. She can't do that. It's not her image.
That's what I was saying. I think off camera, off the show, I was saying Taylor Swift 100% feels a superior attitude toward other female pop stars because she didn't have to sexualize herself to get as successful as she is. Like, she definitely holds that over someone like a Sabrina Carpenter, even though she would never say it out loud. I 100% believe Taylor Swift holds herself in higher esteem than those other pop stars for that reason.
Tina Fey taking over Saturday Night Live would be one of those great examples where I don't think anybody would look at that and be like, that's DEI.
Oh, yeah.
They would be like,
Yes.
that is 110% earned and makes 110% perfect sense.
I agree.
Mean Girls reboot, notwithstanding.
Well, I like to believe that she didn't have a clue what the Gen Z audience was looking for in that. Like, I think she's just out of touch with what those specific demographics are into.
Yeah.
She thought, like, oh, I'm gonna like make it funny for them, when in reality, like, the Gen Zers liked the original Mean Girls anyway.
There's got to be somebody who can make a movie that kind of leans into the isolationist tendencies and the problems of Gen Z and make it funny. It's got to be doable, right?
In the same way that a Mean Girls did.
Yeah. Like, there's got to be a way to do it. Maybe not Mean Girls, but like a teen comedy for Gen Z. It would be very hard to take something so depressing and make it funny. But a lot of people who are depressed in high school can still watch movies that play on the tropes of high school and laugh.
That would be an incredibly difficult task, but I would like to see someone try.
If I'm being completely honest, I don't hold Chappell Roan in any higher regard than Sabrina Carpenter. I don't.
But you are a bigger fan.
Yes.
You like her personality more.
I don't care about her music. I just think she's funnier. But
Yeah.
I don't hold her. Like, I don't
She's
look
more
at,
interesting.
I don't look at her persona and think that is somehow more meaningful or valiant or even artistic. I find it all to be very so over the top if it's just a bit annoying. So,
But as far as her personality,
yes.
I think that her personality is more authentic.
Do I believe for a second that if she looked like Sabrina Carpenter, she wouldn't also take that route? I don't know. She likely would have a different sense of self-esteem and a different sense of self-worth and a completely different personality based on what she looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you just go to war with the army you've got.
It's impossible to know.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.